Hi and welcome to Dramatic Knits. My name is Steve, also known as Dramatic Knits, and today is Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. This is episode 361. If you're a returning viewer, thanks for coming back one more episode, and if you're new, I hope you enjoy this episode and you'll come back in the future. So, how have you all been these past 2 weeks? Still a lot of the same old, right? We're all tired of everything. 2020 has just been one for the books, right? I mean, it's got to go in the history book somewhere. I don't know about you all, but we're definitely feeling the monotony of doing the same thing every single day. We are lucky enough to actually be able to go to work and to still have our job and to be supported, which is amazing, but we come home, we have dinner, we sit in front of the TV. We don't go anywhere. We're used to traveling a lot. We can't go do really anything exciting, so everything's been running into each other. We can't tell what day it is half the time. In fact, yesterday was Andy and my... I'm trying to make sure the grammar's right on that. Was Andy and my 13th anniversary. Sorry, I was like, is that right? I don't know. 13th anniversary, not wedding. We're not married. Andy is not the marrying type. Trust me, I've tried. But it was our 13th anniversary, and it's crazy. So on Sunday, we had Andy's mom, sister-in-law, and our niece and nephew drive into town to stay a night and just visit really quickly because they were going to Turkey Run, which is a state park in Indiana. Even though they're from Indiana, Turkey Run is more south. It's more parallel with us in central Illinois. So they drove down to stay with us for a night. It's a lot of people in our house that we're used to. We're not used to a whole lot of loud noises and talking. And so they stayed Sunday night, and then they left Monday morning. I went into work, and they drove to Turkey Run, and Andy and I worked. Andy just was feeling kind of out of sorts, not sick or anything, just, again, I think it's the monotony getting to him. So he went home a little early on Wednesday to relax, or Monday. And then yesterday was our anniversary, and he left at about 5:30 in the morning to drive to Turkey Run to meet them for a full day of adventure and fun. I guess he realized it was our anniversary about 7 o'clock on the road. I did not realize it all day. In fact, Facebook reminded me of an anniversary picture we had taken 4 years prior. And it didn't even occur to me. I was like, oh, look how cute and young we were. It didn't even occur to me that it was our anniversary. So he came home around dinner time yesterday, and he had called to say, hey, I'm on my way. He's like, if you can hold out on dinner, we can have dinner together. Well, he drove through Champaign on his way home, so he picked up Portillo's for us and treated us to Portillo's, which was much better than the McDonald's that I was going to have. But he is like, look what I got, da-da-da-da. And then he said something about, well, you know why it's so special and something. And I was like, what? And then it dawned on me it was our anniversary. So we shared a piece of chocolate cake, which I'd never had Portillo's chocolate cake. I love their beef. Their sandwiches are amazing. I grew up with a Portillo's in my town because I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. However, their chocolate cake was nothing to die for. I don't know why people love it. I didn't think it was great. I'm not a huge cake fan to begin with. I don't like frosting. But we shared it, and we watched 2 episodes of RuPaul's Drag Race, and it was wonderful. Usually we're at Stitches Midwest, and we're trying to make reservations at some fancy restaurant up there. And as we never really get to spend our anniversary alone, which is fine, but we want to always see our friends that we get to see at Stitches Midwest, and so it was nice. That aspect was nice. But yeah, Andy got to go kayaking, and the kids got to go tubing down the river yesterday, and then they went hiking on trails. So I guess they had a really good time. I worked yesterday. Nothing special. But yeah, that's about it in terms of life. Nothing really else happening. Last time we spoke, we had mentioned we were going up to Michigan for a trunk show at Plumtree Yarn Shop. We did drive up there. The traffic in Chicago was a bit horrendous on the way up there. It took us an extra almost 2 hours to get up there than we had planned. But our new system on wheels worked out pretty well, other than the fact that we did not zip tie the grid wall to the new racks well enough. So 3 of the racks kind of came apart on the ride up there. So we had to do some disheveling in the hot heat and van to get things rectified, but it went well. And it was a little slow in the morning, but for being in the middle of a pandemic, we were happily surprised with the turnout throughout the day. They were doing a little 4 shop hop, and they had a pattern release, which I'm going to show in a little bit. And you got parts of the pattern as you went, and it was cute. It was fun. The owners there were great hosts, and their shop was really cute. And they're going to be getting their first order from us here shortly. So you can look for us at Plumtree Yarn Shop in Milan, Michigan. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of his mom because we drove only 2 hours to his mom's on Saturday night and stayed the night there. And then I drove home, and Andy drove his mom and him drove home separately because she wanted to practice driving through Chicago because she thought she was going to be driving down here this weekend. Well, it turns out Andy's sister-in-law drove. So anyway, you don't care. You don't care. But, and Andy's actually going home tomorrow because his dad's back in the hospital with health issues, but he's upbeat about it. He's been gaining a lot of water weight with his he's got congestive heart failure. And if you've been a long-time viewer, you know that he was actually on a heart transplant list and could have possibly gotten an AVAD, and then we would have had to house him here for recuperating. And there was a lot of stress going on about 2 years ago, and luckily the last year was really good for him. And then all of a sudden the past 2 months, he's been gaining a lot of water weight, and he was in the hospital recently, and the medicines they were giving him were doing the job to get the water off of his lungs and his stomach. And so he's back in there, and they're hoping that they can try a different drug and it'll work. So, but he's going to go up and visit with his dad and brother and have some, discussions that they need to have as a family and things like that. And so, yeah, a lot of driving on Andy's part and our part. But anyway, that really has been about it. Ernest had his 10th birthday. He is now 70 in dog years. He's laying on the floor over there. Corn Dog's snoring away in their little pen that we put him in at night. Corn Dog turns 7 in November, so that's exciting. Yeah. I actually am drinking coffee today. All right, so let's get on to the knitting, shall we? I too have a finished object because you know what? Yeah, basic. So basic. That's right. It's finally off the needles. I'm not wearing it because it is not outrageously hot today. In fact, it's been cooler. It's been in the mid-70s the last 2 days. However, I got done mowing the lawn and showering, and I did not want to put on a sweater, even a fingering weight sweater. So I'm wearing one of my shirts, one of my sheep-themed shirts that I got at India Entangled last year from Shelly Can Designs. She does a lot of graphic art and things like that. Which, by the way, India Entangled Everywhere is going to be going on soon. And that is going to be a virtual event. We got admitted in. We decided not to join. All these virtual events are great, but unfortunately, I just feel like I don't have the time or energy needed to do all the extra work that goes into virtual events. We've been very lucky with being very busy, and I just can't focus my energies there right now. So anyway, here's my So Basic sweater by Maxim Sear. It is a basic fingering weight top-down raglan sweater, and really the only detail is the slight ribbing going down the sleeves. I did shorten the sleeves. This is somewhere around the 50-inch chest size, since someone liked to so adequately correct me and tell me that I don't have a bust unless I'm a woman. Screw that. I got a bust. We all have busts. I don't have breasts. Well, I guess I technically have breasts too. What does it matter what I call it? And why do you have to take the time to comment on YouTube about it? I'm sorry, I totally forgot about that. I read that one night before I went to sleep and I was like, why did they have to say that? If you're watching this and you don't enjoy the word bust or that I use the word bust on a male, click the X right now. That's all I gotta say. I'm sorry, the pandemic. I'm just being real with y'all. This is free content. Come on now. So anyway, I did around the 50-inch bust measurement for the sweater. It is a unisex sweater. And I did shorten the body and the sleeves quite a bit. Andy says I wear a lot of my sweaters. Sorry, the autocorrect on the lighting. Says a lot of my sweaters are too long, and I agree with him. Most of the time I just, knit them to the pattern size or a little bit shorter. I thought 18 inches was a good length for me. It's more like 16 because I am short and I'm short torsoed and I'm fat. So I'm wide. I need the circumference, but I don't need the length. So this second sleeve I bound off a little too tight compared to the first one. So I have the bad feeling that I'm going to have to rip this out. I really don't want to, but I can only get the sleeve like up to here rather than all the way up. And I know that's going to bother me. So I still have a stitch marker in it so that I can put some sort of label in it so I can know which one's the back, because a lot of times I struggle in the morning knowing which side is the back and which is the front. But this was knit out of Leading Men Fiber Arts Soliloquy Base, which is our 100% superwash blue face Leicester wool. And they are put up in 150 gram skeins, so you get 657 yards in each skein. And this is in the colorway Don't Fear the Reaper. I did alternate skeins. We always recommend alternating skeins with hand-dyed yarn. And I did try the helical method of knitting. I do not notice it anywhere except one place on the front. And it's hard to see unless you're in person. You can kind of see it right here. But I think that's when I was still getting used to my tensioning. Other than that, things worked out great, so I'll be using that in the future. And yeah, this took 2.5 skeins maybe for my size. So not too bad. You can get most sweaters out of 3 skeins of soliloquy. That's, over 1,800 yards, over 1,900 yards. So, all right. My little snore monster is going on back there, and actually he's relatively quiet for himself. That was knit, by the way, on a size 3 US and a 4 US. That's a 3.25. That was for the ribbing, and a 3.5 for the body. All right, let's go into what's performing this week. First up are my socks on the needles. I'm knitting some Knit Picks Felici socks in the Building Blocks colorway. I did finish the first sock, which looks like this. These are being knit for Andy. I did 10 rounds of a 2x2 ribbing on Leading Men Fiber Arts Intermission in the Saffron colorway. I then did 70 more rounds down the foot for a total of 80 rounds down the leg. I did an Afterthought heel again in Saffron. I did 80 rounds down the foot and then a rounded toe, which is basically what I do for the heel, except I do knit 4 rounds plain before I start decreasing for the heel. So, and then, and by the way, these are being knit on a size 1 US 2.25 millimeter needle. And here's where I am on the second one. I did wind off a little bit of yarn, about 2 color stripes, so that I can get these ones to match. Usually I don't care, but since they were in 2 50-gram balls, it wasn't hard for me to do. And I still have that much left of the first one, so. All right, next up is my Peeping Cowl. I worked on this last night. This is by Joji Locatelli. I'm using Quince & Company. In fact, I have yarn here for future, so I'll show you. I'm using the colorways Bird's Egg, Iceland, Fox, and Smoke. So they actually go in this order for me and how I'm knitting them. These were all goodie bag skeins I got over 4 different years from the Knitting at the Pipeline retreat, which unfortunately is no longer being held in Washington, Illinois in February or March. It kind of moved around. But I only needed one 50-gram skein of each. And I am almost 2/3 of the way, or 3/4 of the way done. It is going to be a very long cowl. So you start here with the, you can see this is definitely my carrying up side, so let's show you the better side. You start here with the bird's egg and you're doing an eyelet, stockinette, garter after the rib, stripe, stripe, stripe. Then you're doing a cabling pattern with the fox, stripe, stripe, stripe. And now we're doing a lace pattern with the smoke. And then it'll be stripe, stripe, stripe. There's another cable pattern with the Iceland. And then I think some stripes and ribbing. So that's going slowly but surely. And then last but not least, I cast on a new shop sample for Leading Men. In fact, we just finished up a knit along for this. This was a kit collaboration we did with Laura Nelkin. She did this actually as a one of the last classes that Blueprint had, which I thought I saw something that Craftsy's coming back now. But this is the Beadkerchief, which is a top-down triangle shawl, a small shawlette. And then she came out with the bead loop, which is like a shawl, like a shawl cowl. And it has placed and pre-strung beads, which when I first met Laura, I took a beading class with her at the Super Summer Knit Together in Nashville. And we had a hoot together. We've done various events together since then. And we are really lucky to call her a friend. And we do a lot of collabing with her now. But she knows I hate pre-strung beads. But she gifted me a kit of the beads and everything I needed. All I had to supply with was the yarn. So I was like, sure, I'll do that. So I took a skein of our Harvest colorway, which was one of the colors she used in her kits. She had a multitude of colors. And you do just a stockinette body for the main portion. There's no pre-strung beads until you get the body done. So I've been working on that. This is being knit on a size 4 US 3.5 millimeter needle. Again, this is Leading Men's Showstopper in the Harvest colorway. And I thought this spine was really cool. So it's like a double yarn over spine. And when you go back, you knit purl into the first stitch and then knit into the second, and it gives you that elongated twisted stitch, which I think is really neat. Very decorative. So I would try to show you the beads, but honestly, it's all in this tin. There you go. I don't want to dump them. But there's a multitude of different beads. They're so pretty. She does such a good job with beads. In fact, when I get this done, I may be contacting her about offering some of these kits in our shops. But there's, you know, metallic, matte, and then there's these different beads that are for the edging. And those ones are placed. So I'm excited. She's gifted me a kitting toolbox or a beading toolbox before. So if I need anything else, which I don't think I will, I've got it covered. Please tell me that did not just open in my bag. Okay. I heard all the beads move and I was like, I wouldn't be having fun with that project anymore. So that's all that I'm working on. No crochet. I did gift all the crocheted shawls that I made. We took a walk down to the studio with our niece and nephew and the dogs and my sister-in-law, however you want to call it. And she saw all the crocheted shawls, one I had in the window, and she's like, ooh, I like this. And She's new to all the styling and stuff, and she's like, do I wear it like this? And I said, or a kerchief style, and she's like, what's that? So I had to show her, and she's like, oh, I could wear it under my jacket. So she actually took 2 of the shawls. And then I said I was thinking of gifting the rest to Andy's mom for her church so that if people get cold, they can have them. So she got the 3 other ones that I had made, and then her mom was like, do you have any more? She's like, there's 5 girls in our group, and so I have 2 more balls up there. It's not going to be immediate. I'm not feeling the urge to crochet, so that's not going right now, but yeah. So I'm just enjoying what crafting I'm getting done. In rehearsal, when I finish the Peeping Cowl, I am going to cast on for the Hugger Bolero by Knititude. And because I got some recent stash acquisition that you're going to see here in just a little bit, that I'm going to make for my sister. She actually really, really likes this. And so I thought I would show it. Maybe I can bring it up to you. It's like a big cocoon. And, oh, that's not it. Oh, good, I'm already logged in, so it doesn't take too long. I tried to remember to bring home our really old iPad so I can show you stuff, but here we go. Shh, there's no one here, Ernest. Sorry. Well, let me bring the... How do these things work? I don't understand. There we go. It's like, let me bring the brightness down. So it's like a big, super chunky knit, and it is a big cocoon. It's all knit in, I think it's knit flat and seamed. And she was like, I love this. I know she would love it in black, but when she see the yarn that I chose, I could not do black. I was like, it's gonna attract every color. But I think she does like the color that I did pick. She said it's a lot better in person than she thought it was in the picture. So that I'm gonna be casting on here once I finish the Peeping Cowl. All right, behind the scenes, my spinning, I am still working on Prairie Shepherd's merino top in the early morning colorway. This was an 8-ounce braid. I showed you last time that I have the first 4 ounces spun and I am on to the last 2 ounces of the second 4 ounces. So I'm working on that. In the seam shop, my cross stitching, I did not take off the stand or out of the Q-snap because there's not a huge amount of progress to show you, but I have been working on it. I am cross-stitching in Heaven and Earth designs called One for Sorrow. And I think I've made the decision that once I finish this top row of pages, which has been a good 1.5 years already I've been working on this, I think I'm gonna put it away and do a quicker project or start something new to kind of reinvigorate me. And then I can come back and do the second row and things like that. All right, let's go into the spotlight. What are we watching and reading? I've not finished any reading. But we did finish a couple of TV shows. So we finished watching The Politician Season 2. Loved it. Wish there was more episodes. There was only 7. It did seem a little formulaic at the end, how it jumped forward in time and set you up for a new season. But it was cute. It was campy. I love Ryan Murphy. I think he does amazing work. I love almost all of his shows. We are currently watching Hollywood, which is put on Netflix, which is put out through him. He also does American Horror Story. He did American Crime Story. He did Glee. I did not watch American Crime Story. And what else does he do? He does a couple other things that we've watched. Anyway, he also has a new show coming out on Netflix in September, which I'm excited about, called Ratched, which is about Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's got Sharon Stone in it, Cynthia Nixon, a lot of different people, as well as Sarah Paulson is headlighting. So I will say Ryan Murphy is notoriously known for keeping to a select few actors that he really likes. He is also very, he also did Pose. We haven't watched Pose. He also is very influential in bringing a lot of LGBTQIA characters and actors to the forefront in film and TV. And he also brings a lot of hot guys. He has his favorites, let's just say. He loves Darren Criss. He also likes the guy who's the lead in Hollywood. He also was in The Politician. But he also is notorious for bringing back underrated actresses or faded away actresses from like the 80s and 90s. So, I mean, Judith Light and Bette Midler were fantabulous in Politician season 2. They didn't show up till the end of season 1, but you know, he brings back Jessica Lange, Sharon Stone, Cynthia Nixon for these things. So I don't know. I think he's a really creative genius. I did watch season 1. Who knows if there's going to be another season of Aries on Netflix. It is a foreign supernatural suspense drama. It is dubbed over, but it's not horrible dubbing. I watched the whole season. It was 8 half-hour episodes, but I still would only maybe give it 2.5 stars, only because I feel like they edited a 1-hour episode down to half-hour episodes, and there was a lot of plot holes and a lot of things not explained. So, and I didn't care for the ending. But it sufficed as background while I was knitting. And then we did finish watching Homecoming Season 2, which is put out through Amazon Prime. Julia Roberts is one of the producers. She also starred in the first season. It is about a top secret drug that is being illegally tested on members of the military in order to try to wipe their traumatic memories from them so that they can go back into service and be better soldiers without having to come home to be honorably discharged. And so season 2 kind of rolls along those gates of trying to do more cover-up, and it gets more into the background of the company as well as the government's role in it. So I enjoyed it. I felt like there was, again, some plot holes, some rushed decisions on the writing team for a little bit of it, but I would give it 4 stars. So, all right, let's move into stash enhancement. So while I was at Plumtree Yarn Shop, they were doing a Christmas in July sale and getting rid of some overstock or things like that, or things that they have a lot of stock on, or stuff that they only had a few things left. So they had a selection of Wool in the Gang Crazy Sexy Wool, which is a jumbo single ply wool. And I've seen it before and I was like, but this color caught my eye. And so I was looking for patterns for different things of yarn that was on sale. And this particular one, I was like, you know what? I showed my sister the pattern. She liked it. I said, I've got a person to knit it for. So I picked up 4 skeins of, again, this Wool in the Gang Crazy Sexy Wool in the bronzed olive colorway. This is 100% wool, and you can see there how one ply it is. But it's so pretty. It's like this deep, rich gold with these undertones of green. See, that's not true. That's true to color, right there. So I've got 4 skeins of these. These come with 87 yards to 200 grams. Is a big wool, y'all. Is a big wool. 200 grams to 87 yards. So I've got, it's going to be 800 grams on her. It's like 8 skeins of yarn, so it's not insubstantial. I then needed to pick up a needle, and they did not have the right size that I needed. So I ordered from Amazon, and I got a set of Knitter's Pride Dreams 32-inch size 19s. So I have a feeling I'm only going to be able to knit a couple of rows on this at a time. And then I was watching the Knit Girls maybe 2 episodes ago, and Leslie was talking about a recent finished embroidery piece. And she's like, yeah, I got it from Cozy Blue Embroidery, and she does this monthly embroidery kit, and you get the floss and the pre-printed fabric. And I was like, how much does something like that run? So I went to the website, and the kits are super affordable. It's $13 with free shipping every month. However, she doesn't currently have the kit available because of supply demand on the DMC floss. So she only has the chart available, and I'm like, I don't want to go buy the DMC because I don't have DMC stash. So I decided not to do the kit yet. I'm not an embroiderer. I will see how I like doing these stitches. I don't like back stitching, so I'm probably not going to like this, but I looked, she has a bunch of kits on her shop, and as she releases her monthly kits, like as a new one comes out, the old ones get released in her shop, and she had ones good for beginners. And so I picked up this, well, it doesn't say on this one. This one is the Crafty Fox Kit, and it'll look like this. It comes with a hoop, a wooden hoop, a needle, pre-printed fabric pattern, embroidery floss, basic stitching instructions, and a getting started guide, all in this box. So I want to say with shipping, it was like $27.50 for this. So I thought it was cute. I thought I would give it a shot. And the packaging was super cute. It shipped out in a couple of days. And she has a lot of really cute, whimsical designs. So we'll see how I like it. I was actually going to sit, if Andy, there was a chance Andy wasn't going to come home yesterday. He was thinking about just driving straight up to Indiana for his dad, but since his dad can't meet with his brother till tomorrow, he decided to come home. So maybe tomorrow night, because I'll be by myself, maybe I'll throw on an audio podcast and work on this and give this a shot. So I will link them in the show notes. All right, this week's giveaway was generously donated by a viewer of the podcast, and it worked so well based on our recent finished knit along and the prizes. We have a Nelkin Designs beaded cuff giveaway, and it comes with the yarn. It just doesn't have the outside packaging. It has the pattern, the yarn, and the beads, and it is for beaded cuffs is what it's called. And here is the yarn and beads. It's amazing what you can make knitted jewelry and how little you need. So it's 40 yards of Schaefer yarn, Andrea, 8 grams of size 8 beads, and a threader. And then the pattern's also included in there. So if you would like to enter to be given for a chance to get this beaded cuff pattern and kit, please leave a comment on the YouTube video with a response to this episode's prompt, which is, what would be the worst food to be liquefied and drunk through a straw? Yeah. I don't know, I was flipping through a random conversation starter website, which is what I use every week, and I was like, no, and I was like, gross, but okay. So what would be the worst food to be liquefied and drunk through a straw? I will have the question in the drop-down menu on YouTube. The show notes will be on our website, dramaticknits.com, but the question will be there so that you can just answer in the comments. All right, let's move on to a round of applause. Last episode's giveaway was for 2 skeins of Debbie Bliss Baby Cashmerino in this hot pink colorway, magenta. And the prompt last episode was, if you could try out any job for 1 week, what job would you choose to try? And the random YouTube picker picked Victoria Pialeski. Congratulations, Victoria. I've commented on your comment and asked you to email me your info. And Victoria said, a farm with horses and sheep. Whenever we get to visit sheep and goats at fairs, and when we're lucky enough to visit farms like our friend Joanna of Knitspin Farm, we think it would be fun, but we're never home enough, let alone we live in the middle of the city. So Granted, it's a small town city, but you can have them on the outskirts, but not in town. All right. Last episode, I talked about how I had given up on reading the book Mirror, Mirror by Gregory McGuire, but I did offer it up to a pair of lucky eyes that want to read it, and random number generator selected number 4 from the Ravelry thread of last episode's thread, and that is Sam Ash Williams, 94. So congratulations, Sam. If you would please, I've left you a comment, but please direct message me on Ravelry with your name, address, and mailing address. I'll get this out to you as soon as possible. And then, moving right along, our July 2020 Race to the Finished Object contest has come to a close. We have 2 wonderful prizes. The first is a physical prize from our prize pool, and random number generator selected number 25, who is Mula Bula 13, and that is Katie from Illinois, who is actually a former coworker of mine. So congratulations, Katie. I'm going to let you wait to hear this, and if you would, please email me Dramatic Knits on Ravelry with your mailing address and your email address. And you've won, since you said your favorite color is yellow. From our prize pool, I picked out 2 skeins of Be Sweet, Grace and Style in the gold colorway. So it is a 69% baby mohair, 29% bamboo, 2% metallic, hand spun and dyed. It's made in South Africa. And, oh, I didn't read this. So it says here, oh, it's got a whole thing on how it helps women in South Africa with a job creation program. So that's awesome. So I was trying to see if it said how many yards you got. But I don't see that. Oh, 25 grams is 160 yards. So you got 50 grams here, Katie. So look forward to getting your email so I can send that off to you. And then a pattern prize from our featured designer, who is Shayna Lines Designs. This is her last month being featured, or July was. And that is Knit Takes Two. That's Michelle from Georgia. Congratulations. You've won a pattern of your choosing from Shayna Lines Designs. So if you would please direct message me with what pattern you would like, I'll have Shayna gift that to you. By the way, Katie Mulabula 13 knit a traveler's shawl by Dawn Barker. And Knit Takes Two, Michelle knit or crocheted a mini Triceratops amigurumi. So congratulations to you two. Thank you so much for showing off what you finished in the month of July. We do have August 2020 Race to the Finished Object contest currently open. So anything that you finish in the month of August, post a picture of. Each post, each picture is a separate entry. So make sure you enter as separate posts. We will have a physical prize, but right now we do not have a featured designer lined up. So if you are a designer or know a designer that you're friends with and would like them to be featured, please have them get in contact with me via Ravelry. I am Dramatic Knits over there, and I will explain to them what it involves and what the benefits are for being featured. So, all right. Speaking of our featured designer knit along, our Shayna Lines Designs knit along has come to a close. It was from February 1st through July 31st, and each month we gave away a prize. And at the end of the knit along, we are giving away a grand prize. And so the grand prize of the Shayna Lines Designs knit along wins the other 4 skeins of Quince and Company Finch that I'm not using. So you could potentially knit the same cowl I'm knitting, or you could do something else with 4 50-gram fingering weight skeins. So the grand prize winner, so I drew from everybody who has won in the past, everything. That's the nice thing about finishing something early, is you get in the monthly drawings all the way up and the grand prize. And the winner was number 22, one of the last entries, Love Africa, and that was Barb from Michigan. And she knit You're the Scissors hat that she had previously won as a giveaway. She won the pattern. And so, yeah, I think she won it from the Race to the Finished Object, so then she entered it into the knit along. So congratulations, Love Africa. Barb, if you would please direct message me with your mailing address, I will get this out to you as soon as possible. All right, let's move on to center stage. All things Leading Men Fiber Arts. Reminder, our colorway of the month, Carnival, or Carnival, but we're going with Carnival because it's based off of Rio's Carnival. I showed you it in a ball last time. Here it is in a skein on our callback base. I do not have the swatch. It was already, you can check Instagram and Facebook and the website for a swatch picture and an inspiration photo. This is a variegated, it is not self-striping. And then we paired it with our papaya colorway for a nice bright, even though my son is dying in here, bright fun heels, toes, and cuff for the sock sets. So we have sock sets up, we have pre-orders up for all the yarn bases, as well as project bags from the Silver Shed USA in 2 different sizes and 2 different patterns. All right, Knitting at the Estate 2020 unfortunately had to be canceled. We were trying to move forward without actually having talked with the venue as of yet. And when we were driving up to Michigan, Andy's like, you know what, I should probably check their website and see if they've stated anything. And they had said that all events for the foreseeable future had been canceled due to COVID-19, that the park was open, but you know, the retreats and events and the retreat center itself and the mansion were all closed down. So before I was going to move forward with last payments and starting to purchase things for goodie bags, which I really wanted to do goodie bags, I figured, you know what, it's just best to do what we need to do now, walk away. And I did email everybody. So if you were attending and you haven't received your email, please check spam. I did email through Leading Men Fiber Arts because it seems more people reply than to the Knitting at the Estate email. And most people have replied, but I still have a handful of people who haven't. We did ask if you wanted to either transfer your funds already paid to next year, 2021, or if you wanted a refund, which we are processing immediately. They do come from a multitude of places because some is PayPal, some is through the shop when you paid your deposit. But everything should be refunded to you within 7 to 10 business days is what Square tells me. So we are looking forward to 2021. We do have confirmed that Stephanie Lotvin, Telly Bean Knits, who was one of our teachers for this year, is transferred over. I have not heard from Beck Soliger yet, but I have a feeling because in 2021, it is the same weekend as Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. The fall is full of events. And so I have a feeling Beck's company, Ven's there, and she may not be able to teach, which means we may be looking for a new teacher for 2021. Our Cast of Characters Mini Skein Yarn Club is always open, so if you would like to sign up for that, please visit the link on our homepage of leadingmenfiberarts.com. And we do offer not only the Mini Skein Yarn Club now, but you can add on a Katrinkles Stitch Marker set of the month, which we will have a few sets in the shop every month, but some good deal. People have signed on to have those added to their mini skeins as a little fun extra. What else? Our Beadkerchief Beadker Loop knit along ended, and we had a grand prize winner as well as 6 runners up who all won a kit. 6 or, yeah, I think 6, 5 or 6. Anyway, those are all listed in the thread for that knit along on the Leading Men Fiber Arts Ravelry group. We do still have our Jelly Bean Row knit along going on, so check that out if you'd like a discount code on the yarn. Check that out in the thread in Leading Men Fiber Arts. And then we have a new knit along we just started on August 1st, and it will go through October 31st. And that is for the Irresistible Poncho by Kim L. Malone. She is a Michigan knitter and designer, and we've had the pleasure of meeting Kim previously this year. She was the featured designer of this design, which was the design that the shop hop we were part of last weekend. This was the design that was featured amongst the 3 knitting shops. And so every shop you went to, you got a piece of the pattern. This is a worsted weight poncho. It is in one size, but it's one size fits all. It's an oversized poncho with some color work. And the lighter color in the original design here is Sprightly Endeavors on Box Office from Leading Men. So we are doing a knit along for this for 3 months. It uses worsted weight, so we have a coupon code in the Irresistible Knit Along thread in the Leading Men Fiber Arts group that'll get you 15% off of Box Office or West End, which is our non-superwash. You will need, if you're going to do the full poncho, there is a kind of capelet, not a capelet, shrug option. I haven't looked at the yardage on that, but for the full poncho, you need 5 skeins of the main color and 2 for the contrasting. So we're going to be knitting along with that for 3 months. Rhinebeck's not happening, but it would be a really cool Rhinebeck sweater, fall festival sweater, you know, if you do that annually. I really like the armholes in it because ponchos have, unless you have a slit or something, they have a tendency, you know, when you lift your arms to kind of rise up. And while the armholes are lower and you do lift up, it's still going to kind of do that. But you can do things, you have more versatility with the armholes, I think. All right, upcoming shows. We have no festivals that we know of. I think there's one in Michigan, the Fiber Expo, but I have a feeling that'll probably be canceled in October, in all honesty. So I think everything other than trunk shows is pretty much closed down for this year. We do have trunk shows scheduled up at shops. They will probably be mask required. At least I hope they are, or we may be instituting that as special guests. Everybody was great about it at the shop last weekend. It was our first time being in mask for a full day, and it was a little challenging, to be honest with you. It's not bad when I just wear it, but when I'm talking in it and the condensation, that's what I needed. Breathers. We are still offering free domestic shipping until August 15th. That will end on August 16th. And a quick reminder, we'll talk more about it next episode, but our annual birthday sale is coming up on August 24th and 25th. That is a Monday and Tuesday. And we do this every year. August 24th is my birthday. I'm turning 35 this year. And August 25th is the shop's birthday, and the shop is turning 7. Which, by the way, I was reminded via Facebook that July 31st was 7 years in this house. We bought this house with the ambitions of opening up Leading Men shortly after moving in here, which happened. And so we just coincided the shop's birthday right after mine. And so we always do a 2-day extravaganza. Everything in the shop is 30% off. Everything in the shop will be 30% off for those 2 days. The coupon code will be birthday. And so we're super excited. You know, we've been working to restock the shop, but it's nice to clear things out and make room for new things, new kits, new accoutrement that we're bringing in. So I'm super excited. Andy was not thrilled with me, but I did make my first soak wholesale order yesterday. We had tried purchasing before, and there was a snafu with, honestly, their wording on their website ticked me off a little bit. So, and they weren't willing to work with me, but I did make the decision to move forward with that. So we're going to be offering soak in the shop soon. We got more Katrinkles and new Katrinkle items coming. So super excited. Take a look on the shop. Make sure you sign up for our newsletter if you haven't done so. You can do so via the website pop-up, or you can do so on our Facebook group for Leading Men. And I am just so thrilled to be here with you today. I am going to get this edited and go into work, but it was nice to chit chat with you. I hope you are staying sane. I know that it is getting to all of us. I'm sure it is. But you know what? Be smart. Please wear a mask. I mean, what's the harm it's doing? I don't get it. But, you know, be safe, be kind, love one another, love yourself. And until I see you in 2 weeks, I hope you make something dramatic.